Chapter 1 test, review, ratios and rates. Write the correct answer in the blank to the right for each question. So here we're looking at number 1. We want to find the least common multiple of 4 and 14. So to find the multiple, I'm going to count by 4s and 14s. So if I go 4 and 14, I'm going to write down the first 10 of multiples of 4. So if I count by 4, that'd be 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. So the first 5 multiples of 14. I only do 5 on the second one because normally the number is larger, and by the end you'll see what I mean. So when I count by 14s, I have 14, 28, 42, 56, and 70. See how those numbers got real large, real big. So those are all the multiples. So now I want to circle all the ones that are common. Which ones are here in 4 that are also in 14? Well, there's no 4. There's no 8, there's no 12, there's no 16, there's no 20, there's no 24, there is a 28, there's no 32, there's no 36, and there's no 40. So here we've circled all the common multiples. Now I want to know what's the least common multiple. So the smallest number of the ones that we circled, which is 28. Number 2, what is the greatest common factor of 16 and 42? So factor times a factor equals a product. So what I'm looking at are what 2 numbers, what 2 factors can I multiply to get 16 and 42? So for 16 would be 1 times 16, 2 times 8, and 4 times 4. For 42, I have 1 times 42, 2 times 21, because 42 is even, 3 times 14, and 6 times 7. So now to find those are all of our factors. So now we're going to go back through and we're going to circle all the ones that are common. Which ones are here under 16 that are also over here under 42? So we have 1, we have 2, we do not have 4, we do not have an 8, and we do not have 16. So what I'm looking for now, what is the greatest common factor? What's the largest number that we circled? And of 1 and 2, 2 is the largest number. Number 3, at the summer camp, there were 25 boys out of 80 campers. What is the ratio written as a fraction in simplest form? So first thing is when I talk about ratios, what 2 things am I comparing? Well, I'm comparing boys and campers. Well, what do I know about boys and campers? I know there are 25 boys for 80 campers. So what I want to do now is I want to put that into simplest form. So I'm going to find the greatest common factor. So I have 25 and I have 80. I'm going to write down all my factors again, just like I did number 2. So 25 is 1 and 25, and 5 times 5. 80 is 1 times 80, 2 times 40, 3, nope, that doesn't work, 4 times 20, 5 times 16, and 8 times 10. So what numbers under 25 are also underneath 80? Well, that would be 1 and 5 and not 25. So of the 2 that I circled, which is the largest? That would be 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide each part of my ratio by that greatest common factor. And when I do that, 25 divided by 5 is 5. 80 divided by 15, 80 divided by 5 is 16. Oops. Is 16. There's your ratio in simplest form. Now that can also be written as 5 to 16 or 5 using the colon 16. Either one of those three would be acceptable. Number 4 says the table shows the animals at a petting zoo. What is the ratio of chickens to the total number of animals? So our ratio talks about chickens to the total number of animals. So I have chicks to animals. So I know that there are 3 chickens. But I want to know how many total animals there are. So that means I have to add all of those numbers together. So 6 plus 4 is 10, and 3 plus 5 is 8. So 10 plus 8 is 18 animals. So again, to put these in the simplest form, I'm going to go and write my greatest common factor. Factors of 3, 1 times 3. It's a prime number, it only has 2 factors. 18, 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. So which numbers here under 3 are also in 18? That would be 1, and it would be 3. So the greatest common factor is 3. So I'm going to use that greatest common factor, and I'm going to divide that by each part of my ratio. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 18 divided by 3 is 6. There's my new ratio. Or you can write 1 to 6 or 1 colon 6. For exercises 5 and 6, we have to write each rate written as a unit rate. So a unit rate, we're asking how much is 1? That's the question about a unit rate. So when I look at number 5, it says 16 pages in 4 hours. So I'm comparing pages to hours. I have 16 pages in 4 hours. I want to know how much is 1. So to solve, I'm going to use just like we did for lesson 7. I'm going to cross multiply. 1 times 16 is 16. I'm going to divide that by the only number that's left, which is 4. And 16 divided by 4 is 4. But what are we talking about? Well, that's 4 pages in 1 hour. We look at number 16, or number 6, I'm sorry, same thing. 18 pounds for $3. What are we comparing? Pounds to money. So I have 18 pounds for $3. I want to know how much is 1. So again, to solve, I'm going to cross multiply. I'm going to take 18 times 1, which is 18, and I'm going to divide by the only number I have left, which is 3. And 18 divided by 3 is 6. So you get 6 pounds for $1. Number 7 says a manatee surfaced for air 6 times in 60 seconds. How many seconds went by before the manatee surfaced the first time if it held its breath the same rate? So we're looking at two things we're comparing, and how many times he surfaced and seconds. So time surfaced over seconds. We know that he surfaced 6 times in 60 seconds. We want to know how many seconds went by before the manatee surfaced the first time. So the manatee surfaced once. We want to know how many seconds. That's the one that's blank. So to solve, I cross multiply. 60 times 1 is 60. I divide by the only number I have left, which is 6, which gives me 10 seconds. Numbers 8 and 9. Use the ratio table given to solve each problem. So Nicholas bought 4 pens for $2. So at this rate, how much will he spend for 10 pens? So I'm going to use the same examples we did on Wednesday when we talked about cross multiply and divide. So basically, here are my two ratios. So to find this, I want to cross multiply. So I'm going to take the opposite 2 times 8. 2 times 8 is 16. I'm going to divide that by the only number I have left, which happens to be 4. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. So for $4, he got 8 pens. Number 9, it says Rashida bought 4 tickets to a concert for $80. At this rate, how much would 7 tickets cost? So again, we can do the same thing. We can find that unit rate if we want to, but I'm going to skip that, and I'm just going to go ahead and use my cross multiply. And divide strategy. So again, here's my two ratios. I'm going to cross multiply. I'm going to take 80 times 7, which is 560. I'm going to divide that by the only number I have left, which is 4. And how much would it cost for 4 tickets? That would be $140. Number 10 says 7 notebooks cost $42. At this rate, how much would 5 notebooks cost? So let's write what two things are we comparing? Notebooks to money. So there were 7 notebooks that cost $42. How much would 5 notebooks cost? So I have 5 notebooks. So to solve, I want to cross multiply. I take opposite denominator times the opposite numerator. So 42 times 5, which is $210. And we're going to divide that by the only number we have left, which is 7. 210 divided by 7 is 30. And we're talking about dollars. Number 9, it says, according to a key of a particular park map, every 4 inches on the map represents 6 miles on the park. How many inches on the map represent 18 miles on the park? So when I look through, I'm comparing inches to miles. So it says for every 4 inches is 6 miles. How many inches on the map would 18 miles be? So here's miles. So I want to make sure my new ratio has 18 as its denominator. To solve, we're going to cross multiply. 4 times 18. 4 times 8 is 36. Sorry, 32. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. So I have 72. I'm going to divide that by the only number I have left, which is 6. 72 divided by 6 is 12 inches. Number 12 says Alicia took a survey to determine her classmates' favorite pets. She wrote the results on the board. Select whether each statement is true or false. So the first one says the ratio of fish to dogs is 2 to 3. Well, there's 4 fish and there are 6 dogs. So I want to compare those two. So I have 2 to 3 and 4 to 6, and I'm simply going to cross multiply. So I take 3 times 4, which is 12, and 6 times 2, which is 12, and 12 and 12 are, is that true? That is true, because they have the same numbers. It says the ratio of fish to birds is 7 to 4. So I have 7 to 4. Fish, there's 4 fish. And birds, there are 7 birds. Is that the same? So again, I'm going to cross multiply to find out. 4 times 4 is 16. 7 times 7 is 49. So is 49 and 16 the same number? No. So that is false. It says the ratio of dogs to other pets is 3 to 7. So dogs to other pets. So dogs is 3 to 7. So here's my ratio. But dogs is 6 to other pets. That means all other pets but dogs. So other pets would be 3 plus 7 plus 4, which would be 14. So to see if those two are equal, we cross multiply. 7 times 6 is 42. 3 times 14 is 12, is 42. Is that equal? Yes. So the ratio of dogs to other pets is true. So the other ratio is the ratio of fish to total number of pets is 5 to 1. So here's 5 to 1. Fish, there are 4. The total number of pets, which is 6 plus 3 plus 7 plus 4, which is 20. So I have 1 times 4, which is 4. I have 20 times 5, which is 100. Is 100 equal to 4? No. So you have to use your comparing of fractions, or rates in this case, or ratios. So 5 to 1 is my first ratio, and then 4 for the number of fish, and 20 for all of the other animals. So number 13, it says Claire takes 3 minutes to make 1 bracelet. Use Kara's rate to complete the ratio table. So if it takes 1 bracelet, it takes 3 minutes. To make 2 bracelets, 1 to 3 with 2 over it. I cross multiply. 3 times 2 is 6. Divide that by the only number that's left is 1. 6 divided by 1 is 6. 12. If I have 1 to 3 and we have 12 minutes, how many bracelets did she make? So again, I cross multiply. 1 times 12 is 12. I divide that by the only number I have left, which is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And the last one is 7. Again, I have 1 to 3. I have 7 on top. 7 times 3 is 21. I divide that by 1, and that's 21. So now I take this information that I have and I need to write the values in the table as ordered pairs of bracelets to minutes. So my bracelets is my X value, my time in minutes is my Y, because X is always first and then Y. So my ordered pairs, I have 1, 3. I have 2, 6. I have 4, 12. And I have 7, 21. So now I'm going to take this ordered pairs and I'm going to have to go to the next question where it's going to ask me to graph those ordered pairs. So as you can see, I transfer those over so that way we can see them. So I'm going to go 1, 3. So I start at 0. I'm going to go X, remember, goes over. Y goes up. So I start at 0. I go over 1, up 3. And I place a dot. 2, 6. I start at 0. I go over to 2. And I go up to 6. 4, 12. I start at 0. I go over to 4. Up to 12. And 7, 21. I start at 0. I go over to 7. And I go all the way up to 21. If you would like to draw the line, you're more than welcome to, but you do not have to do that. Number 14. It says an 8-ounce drink costs $3.28 and a 12-ounce drink costs $5.04. Which drink is a better buy? So we have to find out the unit rate. How much is 1? So I have $3.28 for 8 ounces. I want to know how much is 1. So I cross multiply, which is 328. I divide that by 8. When I do that, 328 divided by 8, I get 0.41. And now I do that with the second part, which is 504 for 12 ounces. I want to know how much 1 is. So again, I cross multiply. 1 times 504 is $5.04. I divide that by the only number I have left, which is 12, which is 0.42. So which is the better buy? I would say this one here. Why? Because it is a whole penny cheaper per ounce. It is $0.01 cheaper per ounce. All right. For your test on Monday, please make sure you have your review and your notes there to help you with the test. Go to McGraw-Hill and do all the self-check quizzes that are there. They're 5 questions each. It'll tell you what things that you're missing and give you a score. If you have any questions on those, please let me know on our Zoom meeting and we can kind of go over those as you're taking the test. I know you'll do great. Good luck on your test.